Hello, and welcome to the first conversation topic. My name is Miguel, and this is Honest Faith Conversations. So, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when I say the word faith? Like, seriously, what is the very first thing that comes to your mind? You can either write it in down there, or send me a video, or even send me an email. I'll put the email address in there or down there. Um, Anyway, uh, yeah, because this is all about a conversation. And if you don't reply to me, it's just kind of like me talking to myself on here. And there are probably way too many people who are already doing that. Anyway, so our first conversation topic today is faith. And I grew up in the church hearing that if you have that you need to have faith in God without ever really understanding what that meant or really just having it fleshed out for me. So, what are your ideas on faith? What does faith mean to you? Is faith a good thing or is it a bad thing? And it's okay to be honest. Just don't tell me what you think I want to hear. Just be honest. Just write it in down there. Again, be nice because other people are here too, and this is all about the conversation. And why do you think that way? Something that really helped to clarify it for me was a quote by Frederick Buechner. And, his book is a fantastic one. You should check it out. I'll put the link in down there and maybe I'll put it up here too. We'll see. But anyway, this quote says, "Faith is homesickness. Faith is a lump in the throat. Faith is less a position on than a movement toward, less a sure thing than a hunch. Faith is waiting. Faith is journeying through space and time." What stood out to you in that quote? For me, it's that very first part. It's that faith is homesickness thing. Now, I thought a lot about this, and I had a conversation with some teenagers about this earlier this year, and we kind of described it as such that it's kind of like being homesick for a place that you've never been, such as in fandoms, like, for instance, in Harry Potter, or those people who really wish they could go to Hogwarts. They feel homesickness for this place that they've never been, that they've only just read about, that, it's only exists in our imaginations. Now, I'm not saying that, like heaven and stuff doesn't exist, that it only exists in our imaginations, but I believe that's kind of how it is, because we've never seen it. We've never had somebody that's gone there and actually come back to report on what it's like. I mean, you have all these, near-death experiences and stuff like that, but I really don't think that those have very much merit and what they mean towards us here. But do you think it's possible to be homesick for a place that you've never been? I think it is. For me, one of my fandoms, was Star Trek. Oftentimes I get those pangs of homesickness for being out in space, is exploring, is seeking out new life and new civilizations, and boldly going where no man has gone before. If only. But what does it feel like for you? What does home feel like for you? Now, a few years ago, I went to a concert up at Red Rocks. It was for my birthday. My friend got some tickets for us, and we went to go see Dave Matthews Band. If you've never been to Red Rocks, it's a fantastic venue. It is right up there in Colorado, right outside of Denver, right there in the Colorado Rockies, in the Red Rocks, just right there. And you're outside, and there's these stone benches and stuff all over the place, and it's just awesome. And if you ever get a chance to go to a concert, I highly, highly recommend it. Anyway, there was that point in the concert, when your jam comes on, your jam comes on and you're like, yeah, and you're like jamming to it, and everyone else around you is all jamming to it, and you just kind of feel that moment when you're like just one with the universe, Have you ever had that experience? You ever had that moment when you feel just like everything's perfect, that everything's kind of working together, that if you just tried in that moment, that you probably could fly. Do you ever have that moment? And I think that's kind of what home is supposed to feel like, right? It's that moment where you feel like everything's right with the world, that you're safe, you're secure, that everything is good. And I think that's really what faith is that longing for that feeling, that longing for that feeling of belonging and unity and harmony with everything. Paul in the letter to the Romans in the Bible in the New Testament, he talks about how the crucifixion was this moment where everything got set into Exodus, that everything started becoming better than it was, that everything was kind of, it was good, but that somehow things had gotten imperfect, and that now everything's moving towards that. Now, this is a very kind of Aristotelian view of things, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, check out The Unmoved Mover, and I'll try to find a link or something and put it down there. But in that, Aristotle talks about how that everything is a set into motion to becoming better than it is, that it's trying to become perfect, and that there was this one being in the universe that set everything into motion, and that it is not moving itself because it couldn't be if it set everything else into motion, and it's already perfect. And so that's what I kind of think that faith is like. It's that movement towards perfection. Is that God being whatever God is, that it set things into motion, and that everything is now trying to become better than it is. It's trying to become united, and in harmony with one another, and everything else like that. So I think that faith is a movement towards unity and harmony. That oftentimes people will say that love is ultimately the thing that all faiths strive for. So I think that if love is the destination, then faith is the road to get there. What do you think? I think that faith is the desire that pushes us forward into that direction towards home. There's another writer in the Bible, his name is James, and some of you Lutherans may not like him, but that's okay. Anyway, James says in his part of the book is he says that faith without works is dead, and I think that really ultimately is saying that if this desire is not driving you to do something, then there's no reason for you to be a part of it. That there's no reason to have it be a part of your life, and there are often times when even Jesus, we're talking about how the kingdom should be and how the world should be, that the kingdom is like this, or that the kingdom is like this, and that's, I think, how the world should be. And oftentimes those pictures were of harmony and of beauty, and that's what the world should be striving towards. What do you think? So I think ultimately, if your reason for being part of a faith or a movement is anything other than that feeling of homesickness, that movement towards a unity and a togetherness, then if it's anything other than that, then you really need to evaluate if it's for you. If you have that homesickness, and if you have that desire, and if you have that desire to make sure that to try to make everything better, then why aren't you doing it? Why are you just sitting still? I think it should drive you to make things better, right? So what do you think? Am I completely off base in this? Maybe we'll talk more about this. Maybe I'll start a playlist of conversations on this. So if you want to make your own video in response to this, that would be fantastic. And yeah, tell me what you think, and be a part of the conversation. So remember, keep the faith and be nice down there.